Okay, continuing on the project of the Dyane. Yesterday we split open the old engine and found the damage on that one. That was quite interesting. Today we are going to get the new engine ready for install. First thing though is to assess if it's okay to use. I am going to remove the flywheel and the clutch because I'm going to use the known good one. And then I'm actually also going to take off the heads. I had hoped that I could start the engine up to listen to it and make sure that it ran nice. Sometimes you can only hear it when it runs if it knocks or something like that. But I'm going to take it apart before that. The reason why I wanted to start it up before is there's no reason to change all the gaskets for the oil pipes down here, who tend to leak on old engines if the engine is no good, because then I just waste a good gasket. But the problem I see right now is that the engine spins freely, but reach a point where it stops. I'm going to make a time lapse actually of me removing all that stuff. Yeah, we'll try that. So here we are. I have stopped dismantling when I reach this point. Let me just get a light. Because even though this engine could be saved pretty easily, it is not going to be the one we are going to use, because this would need new pistons and cylinders. I don't know what's it called, barrels. Because they are very, very rusty inside. Yeah, and that will not just clean up this. It's too much, way too much. And the engine is still blocked, it's not free. So the other side is just as bad as this one, I think. So water has gotten into this engine, unfortunately. I am going to try to find another. Here we go, back again. So that engine is no good, at least not the cylinder liners and the pistons. The rest of it looks pretty okay, but yeah. So I went to my neighbor, not exactly neighbor, but he lives up the road and has a lot of 2CVs and a lot of engines lying around to my luck. And we found this one. And this seems very healthy, I think, compared to the other one at least. It turns good all the way around. Can't do it with my hands right now, but it's possible to turn it by hand. which is pretty normal when they have been standing for a while. Then the compression will be a bit low because there's no oil on the oil rings, the piston rings, and therefore the compression is low. So hopefully it will boost when the engine is running. But it runs around. Nothing seems to be stuck. I've already begun the disassembly. I'm not going to make a time lapse on this one because it will be exactly the same as the other one. But I have already loosened up this one and this one and this one and this one, and they both, all four of them came loose, no problem, which is extremely rare. So that is a good start. Either way, I could just put this engine in and start it up, and it would probably be perfect. But I'm going to remove the cylinder heads on both sides and change the gaskets I was talking about earlier down here, because they leak so often on old engines, and that would just be a shame to have as a problem. So I'm going to remove that, put on new gaskets and put it back together, and put the carb from the known good Dyane car on it. I think I'm going to keep the clutch on this one and not take the other one, because I can see the meat inside of it and it looks very healthy. So I think it's better than the one on the car. And we're going to check and maybe change the contact system, and maybe I'm also going to change this wire because it seems a bit iffy. So I will find another one and put on. So yeah, I will take you back when I have removed both cylinder heads, and then I will show you the process of changing those gaskets. So I just took off the valve cover, and take a look at this. It almost looks brand new inside of here. This engine either has very low mileage or is serviced extremely well, because this is looking very, very good. Also, the inside of this valve cover is clean, and the gasket is not that bad either even. So this is a extremely good sign. Okay, so I have taken off the head and I can say everything is looking fine in here. There's even cross hatching still left in the bore, which is a good thing, and actually it's a bad thing if it's not. But it seems as though this engine is in very good condition. I even have a feeling that maybe someone has been rebuilding it or doing some work to it, because everything goes apart so easily that it almost feels like the engine hasn't run with the yeah, but I don't know. These are the gasket I was talking about. These tend to go completely hard and become almost like glass, and they will leak quite badly. And they are difficult to change because you have to take the cylinder head off. It's not that bad, but it's a lot of work. So we're going to pop this off and put on new ones. And then when we fit it back together, we should take care that these pipes go into the hole in the block and not get crushed on the side of the block, which is a common mistake to do. Then they will leak extremely bad. But let's see. These are not hard at all, and there's no reason to change them actually, other than they are a bit torn out here, which is not even that bad. They are soft and everything is close to perfect with them, but we're gonna change them anyway, just to be completely sure that everything is nice and good. So I have this one, then I just take out the old one like so and put in the other one like so, and then we'll put them back on their pipes. Just press them on so the pipe comes through the rubber part. I can see a small tear in this rubber, so I'm going to remove that. No need to have rubber in the oil system that blocks the mesh. And that seals like this, like a dab of oil to make them seal when you put it back together. So like so. Also, I'm going to clean the inside of here because this is a sealing surface with no gasket, so it's a good thing to clean up. And remember to take care to actually get the pipes inside the engine block and not being crushed on the side of it. It's a bit difficult and fiddly, but not that bad. Also remember to have these one in. They tend to fall out when you take out off the head, and you do not want to scratch them or bend them or anything like that. Of course, it's the push rod. I think I have it there. Should make sure that everything goes in straight. And then you can tighten it up slowly. We're going to torque this up. Oops. We're going to torque them up in the end, and also just adjust the valves. I don't want to show you how to do that in this video because I made another video about valve adjustment, so there's no reason to do that again, I think. So yeah. Okay, before retorquing the heads, it's important to put on the manifold and tighten it down, and then torque the heads because it can turn a little bit when this one comes on. So I'm just going to tighten it on for the moment being, and then take it off again afterwards because we're going to have to put the covers on and all that kinds of stuff. And all this I have shown in another video, but so I'm not going to go into great details about that, but it's pretty straightforward. You just need to know the number. Right there. Right there. I think you get the point. I will fit the cover on the other side, and then I will refit the inlet manifold and the exhaust manifold with new gaskets, and then I will adjust the valve timing once more, and then it should be ready to be put into the car so we can test it. I'll put that down. Like so. So, this is it. The engine is ready to be refitted onto the car. And onto the car we're going to change the oil and the filter and then start it up and see if it works. I was just checking that everything was tight, and I noticed that this one was not able to tighten. Probably the thread was broken. So I have cut the thread up a size. I'm going to put an oversized bolt into it. That is just something that happens with old aluminum stuff. It's just, it gets quite fragile. So yeah, the thread gave in. And now it's fixed. And you'll never know the difference, almost. This is good. The And so we are ready to put this engine back in. If we don't go on by hand, I think. Will be all for this video. The day has gone pretty much. So tomorrow I will fit the rest of the engine on and get the mounting mounted, and then I will start the engine up. Also I need to change the oil and change the filter, but then I will start the engine up. So that will be all for now. See you later.